This technique or posture is our flying warrior as well as our revolved flying warrior, the variation. Let's take a look. So Melayne is going to basically sort of start in her lead leg, which is our base balance foot. So we're going to go ahead and establish one foot as the foot we're going to be balancing into. So in order for us to have balance on this foot, the foundation obviously needs to be solid and precise. So we don't have the foot turned, slightly internally or externally rotated. It's neutral position, knee directly over the big toe joint. Now, from here, I like a subtle bend in the knee. I would never encourage you to lock your leg and from a locked leg position shift in. Obviously, the minute you lock your leg, you disable your, and again, I want to treat the body for a moment as a machine. And you disable this machine's ability to make subtle adjustments to the weight that is being balanced above the base point or the contact point with the ground. So if Melayne is balancing all this weight up here onto this single point here with the leg straight, then she's taken away the primary joint or the primary sort of position in the chain that will allow her to make adjustments when her weight starts to tip in directions. And there's 3 joints in this chain that are going to allow her to balance and make adjustments when her weight falls, in one direction or another. Hip, knee, ankle. And then, of course, her toes are also super active throughout the entire, technique. So if she shifted in with her legs straight, then she's limited to her ankle, toes as well, of course, and the hip. But this guy, if you bend this guy here, and then you shift in, and you keep the knee bent, now you have the ability, when you're starting to feel weight distribute or dump itself one way or another, you have the ability to make adjustments here, which is what really makes the big difference in balance. It's the knees, which is why we have, as movers, we care so much about the knees, because this is really where so much of the body's ability to recover balance, this is where it's located, right here in the knee joint. So again, ankles are important, hips are crucial, but the knee is the relationship point between the two, and that's why it matters. So now she keeps the knee bent, she starts to shift into position and just come up and balance for a moment. Just feel the balance. Yes. So right now what you'll notice is, in this particular shape, this is an external hip rotation that is required in this shape. It's not a square hip rotation. This would be, say, warrior 3. It would be any of the square or neutral pelvic position postures. Then you would balance into the single leg from there. But this is an external rotation. So this would be from the family of, say, warrior 2 and lunge. So any side lunges, this is all going to be transitioned from those places. So let's say she was in warrior 2. Can you come into warrior 2 for me? Good. So you notice, look, she's pretty much where we cued her to be originally, and all she has to do is just sort of reach and balance up, and she's there almost. It's pretty straightforward. And the hip is already in position. And if you notice that's the benefit of entering from a position or a shape that already has an external hip rotation, is that there's very little work to do. You've already set the architecture up for success. So if she's in warrior 2, And she starts to reach forward and reach, and the back leg gets light. She just maintains the alignment she's already created. And she just keeps reaching and reaching and reaching until she finally finds the full expression of the shape. And then she bends the knee to lower back down and stay athletic as she recovers her balance and finds the floor. So Warrior 2, from that perspective, the entry and the exit really requires the knee to be soft and create a suppleness and an athleticism. So now let's come and look at the upper trunk. So as we come into position, I'm going to just balance you for a moment so you don't have to work too much on that. The arms, notice where are the arms? I need them to be in alignment here. So coming back into position, she's really just maintaining the Warrior 2 upper trunk. Nothing's really changing. So as she continues to reach forward and forward and forward and forward, nothing changes there. And you can tell even the upper trunk in terms of the length and the space all is maintained through that deep reaching Warrior 2. She doesn't collapse on either side. She doesn't compress either side. It's lots of spaciousness. And then this back leg is lifted to try to find the same height or alignment as the front arm. And that's, I'm probably pulling her out of position, exactly. And this is what it feels like here. And this backhand, can you reach it down further? It should be reaching and it should be aligned as much as possible at the same level. It should be parallel to the back leg. So the back arm is parallel to the back leg and the front arm is parallel to the ground. The gaze is looking forward. Your dristi is forward. So if I was here and Melayne was transitioning into the balance, should be looking right at me, should be basically finding this point where she's taking this blade, this sword, and thrusting and reaching with it, because Flying Warrior is a variation of the Warriors, and there is a blade in the hand. Good, coming down. Beautiful, guys. That is our Flying Warrior. Now, let's take a quick look at the variation of Flying Warrior, which is our Revolved Flying Warrior. So Melayne's going to come into position. She's going to switch legs, fine. She's in the opposite leg. So let's first come back. Can you just come back into the regular Flying Warrior? So let's take a quick look. Flying Warrior's here, and I'm going to help Melayne balance. I want her to use me as a balancing point so she doesn't have to work too hard for that. Now, she's going to switch hands. So first, notice she's going to neutralize her pelvic position. She went from an external position to a neutral position. She exchanges hands and reaches back. And now she's basically in, what might be familiar to you, or a variation of a Warrior 3. So look at Warrior 3 here. Beautiful. There's Warrior 3. And in this case, all she's doing is taking that hand back. She's maintaining the neutral pelvis and she's reaching. And this is a variation. Nothing's changed this neutral pelvis. This is a variation of our Flying Warrior. That is Revolved Flying Warrior.